Good afternoon, I'm Danny DeRocher, and this is the CSE Student News. Shocking news out of Cool Beans this morning. Michelle Obama is banning the buying and selling of sugar in and around schools. Cool Beans will no longer be called Cool Beans. It is going to be renamed Cool Greens as of next week. Cool Greens will only sell vegetables and other healthy food options. Their new slogan is, "Eat right and your pants won't be tight." In other school news, school will be let out earlier this year, with students being let out on Thursday, May 26th. Students are being released early because major construction work will be taking place over the summer with the addition of a gymnasium to the school. The new gym will include bleachers, NBA regulation hoops, and locker rooms. Do you believe in the paranormal, aliens, ghosts? A UFO, aka unidentified flying object, was spotted over CSE on Wednesday afternoon, about an hour after dismissal. This photo, taken by a student who wishes to be named anonymous, was submitted this morning. Teachers are speculating that a student has been abducted, but we will not know until attendance on Monday morning. April Fool.
It's the kind of beat to go.
Good afternoon, I'm Danny DeRocher, and this is the CSE Student News. In heated political news, many are very uncomfortable with Donald Trump's radical statements in an interview that took place on Tuesday. Donald Trump is very pro-life, but he takes his stance a step further with saying women who get abortions should receive some sort of punishment. This has really escalated the divide between Trump and the Republican Party. If you haven't heard, there was another ISIS-related terrorist attack in Brussels on Tuesday morning, leaving 34 people dead and at least 190 wounded when 3 explosions took place around the city. 2 were at the Zaventem airport, the other on a subway train close to the EU headquarters. Several bombers are dead, but it is suspected that there are still some on the loose. Today marks the end of the third quarter, and we are officially 75% done with the school year, and there is no school on Monday. The talent show was on Thursday, March 17th, and it was a huge success. All the performers did very well, and the turnout of support was great. Let's see what else is going on around the Skills Center.
Hey Skills Center, the word of the week is egregious. Steven, do you know what egregious means?
No, let's go ask a few people.
Do you know what egregious means?
Egregious?
Yeah.
Egregious.
Egregious.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's a word.
Egregious.
Egregious.
Spell that.
What egregious means?
Egregious. I have no clue.
Egregious. I think it is, the meaning has to do with something to the extreme, something very severe, something to its worst.
Outstandingly bad.
Do you know what egregious means?
Something that's not very good enough.
Thanks, guys. Egregious, outstandingly bad, or shocking.
Example.
An egregious error in coming into my room.
Welcome back. This week, we are going to try something artsy. Josh is going to try drawing a caricature. A caricature is a picture of a person or thing in which certain noticeable characteristics are exaggerated in order to create a comic effect. Let's see if Josh can create a caricature of Terry.
Hello everyone, this is Mecca here, and this is Laughing Giggles today. Today we got a new joke, a new riddle, but before we get into that, we must get into 2 weeks ago's joke and riddle. Okay, so for our joke last week, or not last week, the week before that, actually our joke was, now, what is a teacher without students? You guessed it, happy. Okay, next question. Now, what is a math teacher's favorite sum? Summary. Now, let's get into today's joke and riddle of the week. Now, today's joke today, we have, what's one thing you don't want to say to a vampire? All right. And now the next question, What did the cannibal say to the other cannibal when they were eating a clown? All right, thank you. That is everything for today, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
This week in history. In 1984, the Baltimore Colts moved to Indianapolis. The Colts move was completely unannounced and occurred in the early hours of March 29, 1984, after years of lobbying for a new stadium to replace the inadequate Memorial Stadium. The franchise's move continues to embitter many Baltimore natives decades afterward and would have a lasting impact on the NFL, including another controversial relocation 12 years later that resulted in Baltimore receiving its current NFL team. In 1973, 2 months after the signing of the Vietnam Peace Agreement, the last U.S. combat troops leave South Vietnam as Hanoi frees the remaining American prisoners of war held in North Vietnam. America's direct 8-year intervention in the Vietnam War was at an end. On March 30, 1981, President Ronald Reagan is shot in the chest outside a Washington, D.C. hotel by a deranged drifter named John Hinckley Jr. The president had just finished addressing a labor meeting at the Washington Hilton Hotel and was walking with his entourage to his limousine when Hinckley, standing among a group of reporters, fired 6 shots at the president, hitting Reagan and 3 of his attendants. After firing the shots, Hinckley was overpowered and pinned against a wall, and President Reagan, apparently unaware that he'd been shot, was shoved into his limousine by a Secret Service agent and rushed to the hospital. On March 31, 1889, the Eiffel Tower is dedicated in Paris in a ceremony presided over by Gustave Eiffel, the tower's designer, and attended by French Prime Minister Pierre Tirard and a handful of other dignitaries and 200 construction workers. In 1700, English pranksters began popularizing the annual tradition of April Fool's Day by playing practical jokes on each other. Although the day, also called All Fool's Day, has been celebrated for several centuries by different cultures, its exact origins remain a mystery. Some historians speculate that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582, when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, as called for by the Council of Trent in 1563. The world must be made safe for democracy, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson proclaims in 1917 as he appears before Congress to ask for a declaration of war against Germany.
Hi everyone. Today we would like to say goodbye to Bhima. Bhima is moving to another school. Bhima has brought positive energy to our school. She's very kind, very sweet, very supportive, and very outgoing person. We will definitely miss her. Let's go around and ask some teachers and students what they will remember about Bhima. Miss Reese, what will you always remember about Bhima?
Her bubbly personality, her smile, her cuteness when she comes into the school and says good morning, and how she gets after Mrs. Askins.
Karen, what will you always remember about Bhima?
Her personality, the way she was with me. She was always really funny, and she would always say, "God bless you" to me. Something special. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What will you always remember about Bhima?
Her personality and the way she's friendly with people.
Miss Reed, what will you always remember about Bhima?
All the hugs that I got in between classes and in the morning. I'm going to really miss that.
Okay, thank you. Miss Burnett, what will you remember about Bhima?
I will always remember Bhima's big smile. She's always smiling and she always looks happy every time I see her.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Grove, what will you always remember about Bhima?
I think that I'll always remember Bhima's laugh because she laughs so often, and I'll probably remember the first time that I had her in class, and I wasn't sure what I should be teaching her, so I started teaching her the ABCs, which was lower than apparently she needed, so she thought that was really funny, but she couldn't express that to me, so I just kept teaching her the ABCs, and she was laughing, so that's what I'll always remember. Bye, Bhima. We love you.
Yes, we love you. Bye.
That will wrap it up for this week's news. I'm Danny DeRocher. Have a great 3-day weekend.